It's the Joe Show. Good morning. It's me, Joe, and this is the Joe Show. The show where I get up every morning, I read an article, and then I chat about it I try to keep it under 10 minutes, guys, but sometimes it just doesn't add up. If you like my show, please subscribe, share me with a friend, follow me on social media, etc., etc., etc. If you have an article or a topic you'd like me to talk about, you can email me, hijoeshow@gmail.com. That's hijoeshow@gmail.com. Today's article is titled, "You Can Probably Get Rid of 70% of Your Belongings." Crazy! 70% of your belongings. And then it goes on to talk about pretty much the minimalist lifestyle. If you can't tell, if you can see my background, I'm living a pretty minimalist lifestyle myself. In fact, you can probably even hear an echo in the audio because I don't own a lot of stuff. I drink to that. There's not much. There's not much going on, and I'm fairly confident at this point in my life that I will never own too much stuff ever again. I moved to Germany 2 years ago with 2 bags, and I lived out of those 2 bags for quite a while, and I survived just fine. Are you for real? You can probably get rid of 70% of the stuff that you own. And it's not because you're aiming to live out of a backpack like I had to, or be a digital nomad traveling around, or because you watched the great program, The Art of Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. If you haven't, teaches you great ways to fold your clothes. I would recommend watching it just for the folding techniques. Good point. In the article, the author talks about how she's never met a person that decluttered and said, "Wow, I feel terrible now. That did not make a difference in my life." No one ever feels like that after they declutter. So she breaks it down into a couple points on why you should declutter. The really interesting reasons that she points out. One of them is your brain needs to see straight, clean lines to even feel in control. If I'm not seeing straight, clean lines in my space around me, I get distracted very easily. What was that smell? I could use some lotion. Especially if they're colorful straight lines. They say that if you have trouble focusing and you spend too much time on your phone, for example, to turn off the colors on your phone, set it to like a monochromatic color scheme, and then you will want to look at your phone less because you're not as excited to interact with it because all the colors are gone. I need to see the colors. I can see that. When I changed it to monochromatic myself, I was less interested in my phone, and I quickly changed it back to color because colors. You're never going to be motivated to keep your space organized if you do not care about the majority of the belongings in it. I agree with that. It's also impossible to outperform your environment, meaning you adapt to what's around you, and if it's cluttered, that you get less productive and less fulfilled. Also, when you embrace I don't want to call it a minimalist lifestyle, but a lifestyle where you pay attention to your belongings, you are also more conscious of what you purchase and why you're purchasing those items. Did you think of that? And then also, she says that if you become a minimalist or start caring about your buyings, you can also stick a big middle finger to the capitalist machine. The secret is that the system's kind of designed to draw you in to buy things. What? And she does give a method to figuring out, or to at least starting to play around with decluttering or cleaning up your space. And I think this is better than Marie Kondo's. So Marie Kondo, if you're not familiar with it, the art of tidying up. She suggests taking all of your belongings, especially clothes, throwing them in a pile, picking it up and looking at it, and then thinking, does this bring me joy? If not, you thank that item for its service, you set it aside, and then you donate it. Everything else that does bring you joy or spark joy, you keep. I integrated this into my life. So when I put on clothes now, if I wake up in the morning after, I eat breakfast and get dressed for the day, if I put something on like a shirt or pants and they don't make me feel good about myself, I'm just like, you know what? I don't need this item anymore. It's not bringing me joy. I don't feel good in it, and I throw it away. Oops. Well, I don't throw it away. I set it aside to be donated. I actually have a bag in my closet that I just open up. I put the clothing in there and I close it. And this kind of plays into what this author suggests, and that is box up everything in your house that's not your most frequent used items. 20 to 30 pieces of clothing you wear all the time, your electronics that you use daily, headphones, phone, coffee mug, etc. Leave those. Everything else box up and set aside. Better yet, put it in a closet somewhere out of sight. Call you later, and then you pick an arbitrary amount of time, a month, a week, 6 months, a year, whatever it is, a day. And if you cannot remember what you put in that box or bag after that period of time, you probably don't want, need, or really care about that item anymore. What? So at that point, do not open the box and look at it again. Don't open the box. Me? Because seeing it, you're going to start justifying a reason why you need that item. And instead, have either a loved one or a friend, even a neighbor, come over, pick up that box, take it away, sell the items, donate them, do whatever. That way, you're not seeing them, you're not justifying keeping them. Someone else is responsible for the items, and you just keep on living your life. I love that idea. I think it's genius. So I would definitely suggest trying it out. I will probably try it out. I've kind of already done that with my clothes, as I mentioned. And honestly, I haven't missed any of the shirts or pants or hats or scarves or whatever that I've put in that box and given away. Yeah. Other people will try to justify some items as emergency items that you might need someday. Really, the only emergency items you need are food and first aid, and that's really it. Maybe some extra medication and linens. Everything else is kind of one-time use or not that important. And then the final piece of advice she talks about is the way you shop. So when you go shopping, instead of going to fast fashion to make yourself feel better about yourself and buying a new piece of clothing that you think is going to make you feel better, look at everything and say, either this will need to find a permanent place to stay in my home, or it's going to exit my house in the form of trash or donation. This author and even Marie Kondo does suggest keeping things that are useful, like pots, pans, whatever, and also items that do bring you joy and have a sense of who you are. You don't need a lot of them, but like if you have a mural on the wall or a painting on the wall that really expresses who you are and brings you joy, and keep that around, because that's part of your identity and who you are. And this will also help you identify your identity when you start decluttering, and it gives us clarity. So I think that this whole minimalist lifestyle and kind of inner self-reflection and this boxing up items and putting them in the closet for later for a neighbor to come and donate, I think this is a great advice. So far, I liked this article. It did resonate with me personally because I do live clearly a more minimalist lifestyle. But if you want to check out the article, I will link to it down in the description below. And that will be the show for today. This has been the Joe Show. I really got to slow down when I talk during these things, man. We'll see you tomorrow.